A controversial topic has risen in today's media. As a result, Harry and I, as part of our biotechnology assignment, will be investigating the topic of agricultural cloning. In this documentary, we will be analysing the crucial aspects of this matter using an ABC article titled "How Cloning Could Change Farming," published on the 16th of July 2014 by Jennifer Meatol, as well as other sources of information to assist us. The article explains in detail the specifics of farm animal cloning affecting farmers and some of the advantages and disadvantages of cloning.
1. So what are clones? Simply put, clones are organisms that have identical genetic material. In other words, the sequence of bases in their DNA is exactly the same to the cloned organism. Prior to 1996, it was thought that cloning an entire animal could only be done with embryonic cells. These were the cells present in the early stages of an organism's development. After a small number of cell divisions, embryonic cells start to change into the different types of cells that an organism needs, including cells that form muscle, blood, liver, and etc. This process is called differentiation. Although all of these cells have the same genetic material, each cell can only access the genes needed for its particular function. Before the experiment at the Rosalind Institute, it was thought that once cells differentiated, they could not be used to generate an entire organism. For instance, a sheep's udder cell could not generate other udder cells, but not an entire sheep. The scientists at the Rosalind Institute solved this problem by growing sheep udder cells under starvation conditions. This puts cells in a state similar to embryonic cells. This is called the G0 state.
An egg cell was taken from another sheep. The nucleus, which contains the genetic material called DNA, was removed from the egg using a very fine needle. They then used an electric shock to fuse one starved udder cell with another nucleus-free egg cell. Although the egg cell came from a black-faced sheep, notice on our diagram that the nucleus with the genetic material came from a white-faced sheep. Of the 277 fused cells, only one progressed to form a developed lamb. This lamb was named Dolly. The discovery of agricultural animal cloning is significant in many areas. These areas are both positively and negatively criticized. They include the significance of creating ideal and identical copies of animals through cloning, e.g. for organ or tissue transplant, or even for prize meat and milk products. The significance of repopulating the world with endangered or even extinct animals to bring back the creatures of the past, and the significance of human as a species, morals that also question if repopulating the world's extinct animals can be justified, as there must be a reason behind their extinction.
Old shoe factory in Shenzhen in southern China. But now the company here, BGI, has the world's largest number of gene sequencing machines. These devices analyze the DNA from people, plants, animals, bacteria. This place illustrates the phenomenal rise of Chinese science. Now, this isn't just the world's largest center for gene sequencing, it's also the world's largest animal cloning center, and that's what's going on in here. They've developed a new technique, they call it handmade cloning, far cheaper, far easier than the normal technique that goes on in laboratories. It means they can produce about 500 cloned animals every year, a phenomenal increase in output. It's an industrialization of cloning technique, and they even call this a cloning factory. And this is the result of the work we saw in the lab. In this one shed, there are 90 pigs, each carrying cloned embryos. We just saw how that work is done in a surgery next door. One of the pigs under anaesthetic, being prepared to have a cloned embryo inserted. This place is doing this operation and producing about 500 cloned pigs every year. Now, the technology isn't particularly new. What is striking is how China is now applying cloning technology on a truly industrial scale. That's what's remarkable about the rise of science in China. In case you were wondering about the fate of the pig we saw under anaesthetic, we've just caught sight of it, slowly, rather unsteadily, recovering. This is one batch of cloned piglets. The scientists here say they're doing this work to improve yields for pig farmers, and also because they can give these pigs particular genetic traits which makes them useful for medical research. But clearly, this is one aspect of science that makes a lot of people pretty uncomfortable.
Many major issues range from the topic of whether animals should be cloned. The categories of issues include ethical, environmental, and legal. The ethical issues of the topic deal with whether it is right or wrong to clone animals from a human standpoint. As humans, it is wrong to clone agricultural animals, as we perceive cloning as an unnatural way of tampering with the natural order. The biggest legal issues concerning animal clones are who should be responsible for and at what depth there should be oversight and accountability, as well as the legal right to patent live organisms. Environmental issues that are present when cloning animals revolve around genetic problems and controversies. These environmental issues can potentially be deadly genetic diseases as well as low fertility chances, meaning that a large amount of embryos and eggs are wasted, further dampening the natural phase of reproduction, which may create disputes among portions of various societies.
There are many groups of people that are affected by agricultural animals. However, the main group is farmers. As shown in our chosen article from the ABC, farmers are affected both positively and negatively by this discovery. The positive is that they can virtually create an exact copy of their animals. This can be beneficial in many ways, as they can recreate their prize animals and know ahead of time what the production is going to be for milk or cheese. However, there is also strong negatives to farmers pursuing agricultural cloning. These are, according to ABC statistics, a 3 to 5% success rate of cloning with no abnormalities and the animal being healthy, and the possibility of introducing new diseases to the current animals being raised by the farmers.
Over the course of this assignment, we have come up with some yet to be answered questions regarding this topic of cloning agricultural animals. It is still unclear to us whether or not cloning technology will be present in the agricultural sector in the near future. As well as that, how will this affect the rate of natural reproduction among animals? Finally, will cloned animal meat impede into the meat and produce sector? We hope you guys have enjoyed our video, and thank you for watching.